I'm a loser. I lose all the time. I get my butt kicked by people with more skills than me, more training than me. I find myself in situations I can't figure out a way, a way out of. I have to start over all the time to the point where I just want to give up. But I don't, because you see, I'm a gamer. So even though I lose all the time, I've gotten to save the world. I've stopped the zombie apocalypse. I've found that ancient artifact that controls the universe. So in gaming, I've had such a profound purpose, something that's bigger than myself. And that has ended up translating over to my real life. So in my real life, I have so much passion and purpose and meaning and adventure. And I'm going to tell you how this all happened. So I'm from Chicago's South Side, and if any of you guys are familiar with Chicago, you might know that we have some problems like violence, lack of opportunities, a lack of resources. Needless to say, I wasn't going outside a whole lot. And I was super introverted as well, so I didn't have a lot of friends. And if I wanted to watch TV, I didn't see a lot of people that represented me. I didn't see a whole bunch of, super smart, badass superheroes. Black women just weren't represented like that back in the day. So it kind of left me feeling insignificant a lot of the times. I just didn't have a whole lot, but what I did have was a very loving family and books and video games. So, my older brother's video games, because, girls don't play video games, if you remember that one. So, I actually didn't like video games all that much. You see, when I was playing with my older brother, he was my best friend and my only playmate at the time. So, if I wasn't playing video games with him, who was I going to play with? So what it started off as is me watching him play. And you guys know how exciting that is, to watch somebody else play games. And then it was always playing games that he could beat me at, like Street Fighter. So I would lose all the time, over and over again, and I almost accepted this. I'm just he's a boy, he's older than me, he's just gonna beat me at everything, and so then I should stop trying. But you know what? Something happened. I was just I'm gonna break these unspoken rules. This is not gonna be how I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna be that girl that beats her older brother at video games. You see, as a player, you have to lose probably hundreds of or thousands of times before you have that epic win. So you're way more loser than you are winner when you're playing a game. But the thing was, my goal was to beat my older brother, so it didn't matter how many times I was gonna lose. It didn't matter how many times I failed. It didn't matter how long it took. I was going to beat him. And that day came, and I kicked his butt. And never has there been a feeling so magnificent. I was just yes, this is it. And that's when I started to really fall in love with video games. Because you see, when I played video games, I was able to immerse myself in this gaming universe. I could become a character that was capable of great things, solve great mysteries. The fate of the universe was in my hands. So I could lose however many times it took to reach that epic win, to accomplish that goal. But when I turned off my console, it was back to real life, where I had a neighborhood that was riddled with drugs and gun violence, a school where kids were mean to me, and I just felt very powerless and back to feeling insignificant. But in video games, I met my toughest childhood foe. His name was Psycho Mantis, and the game was Hideo Kojima's Metal Gear Solid. And the thing about Psycho Mantis is that he can read your mind. And me and my brother tried to beat him, but we just always failed. And no matter what we tried, I mean, we learned the rules of the game. This character, this enemy, came halfway through the game. And we learned how to use stealth, how to fight, how to use explosives to get to each level. So we leveled up by following the rules, but for some reason, none of this worked with Psycho Mantis. And as many times as we tried, and as much as we knew the rules, it always ended up in failure. Does this kind of sound familiar? You know, it kind of like parallels real life. Gaming, you know, this act of learning rules, winning and losing, parallels how we actually proceed in our lives. You know, ask yourself, are you a winner? Are you a loser? I mean, what is winning really? We learn the rules and we know what the achievements are. You know, we get those good grades, we land that job, you know, we get that hot guy or girl, whatever it is, but a lot of times we get stuck, obligated to follow these rules so we can have the trappings of a winner, but we don't necessarily feel like one. The reason is because sometimes we have to think about what rules we're playing by and what game we're actually playing. You see, back in the day, when me and my older brother were trying to beat Psycho Mantis, this whole idea of following the rules became something that actually kept us from winning. We had to actually start creatively thinking about the problem. We had to think of it in different ways so that maybe we could figure out a way to win. Now, you might be asking yourself, is this adult woman on stage telling you that all of her success came from playing video games? Yes, I am. I am telling you that because, you see, we learn through playing games. And we intuitively know this, but for some reason we don't believe it. Our real enemies are the feelings that we're trying to avoid. Fear, failure, lack of purpose, boredom. Those are our real enemies. And to avoid them, we will avoid actually playing the game. But it's in the adventure, it's in the process, it's in losing that we're all truly equals. So you might be wondering, like how I came here today. If I didn't ever allow myself to lose, I would have never started my own company with other geeks and gamers. I would have never fought robots in real life. I would never even be on stage right now talking to all of you at a TEDx talk. And it's because video games gave me the capacity to critically think about a problem and allow myself to lose and allow myself to learn and grow in the adventure. And you might be wondering how me and my brother actually did beat Psycho Mantis. You see, he's a telepath, and we had the first player controller, but if you unplug the controller and put it in the second player port, Psycho Mantis couldn't read your mind. So then we're on a level playing field. He didn't know what I was doing. We didn't know what he was doing. And basically, sometimes all a loser needs to win is a level playing field. Thank you.